Oh boy, it's a letter from JoJo. I wonder what it could be. Oh. Oh. Fuck.
Hold on. A buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pulled into consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking, and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Come on. Can I just go a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. Hand lightly taps my cheek and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads throughout the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Isabella? Isabella? Gosh, can you hear me? Isabella?
The fog immediately lifts from my mind the moment I recognize the voice and my eyes snap open. There, looking down at me, is Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she's keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, the feeling subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With a little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed. If the light ache in the area indicates anything.
Alright, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
And the date today?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12 teen. No, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking if your injury is in any way serious.
She's a bit abrupt. She's very forward. This time I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her. What with the way she towers over us. And here I thought Rose was already tall. Who was she anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? With how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from the cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like a supervisor during evaluation.
Just do it, please.
I eyed them both warily, but recite everything as she asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance. Are you alright?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. Memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic?
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crews. The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Did I say something weird? Rose quickly casts an apologetic smile at the woman before the awkward silence stretches on further. I feel like she's one of the relatives.
Or she's one of the buyers.
She's like, no, there's nothing wrong, don't worry. It's her saleswoman's smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. Yeah, it's probably client. I should show this to troublesome clients or just to avoid trouble in general, she advised. It's also the same one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back to me. She takes both my shoulders, gently squeezes it, with as much patience she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you. You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry. I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump in the head. An extremely minor bump. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house, alone. And in a mansion this big?
There's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promised, but that's completely beside the point. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I turn the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railing to steady myself, but otherwise, I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
The two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation if she says no.
All right, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
You shouldn't downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banner. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary, negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. At her lack of response, she coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my throat at the sight of it, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
McCulloch. She hands Rose her business card. Rose Designs Interior Designer. Okay. The words Interior Designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh. Probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her though. Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing. After all, with what it offers, this place could also be a haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please.
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
Rose's confusion is impossible to miss when she glances at me, and I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind.
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home.
Hannah, that's one of the characters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
She don't get along with Hannah. Well, she's not going to get along with Hannah.
This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is, but
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Suddenly, Rose nudges me with her elbow. Huh. So,
She.
feign ignorance, or check with our supervisor?
Which one would? I feel like Isabella would say we'll check with our supervisor.
Yeah, trying to remain professional.
Yeah.
Trying to save grace. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding it.
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me, but I stay my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with awkward situations like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't learned a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person anyway, given the proper explanation. She's surely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives me for doing a good job, and I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxburn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I will be very frustrated if, for some reason, something has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCulloch returns, looking a little frustrated, but with an apology clear in her face. I feel a little sorry for having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
She sounds Irish.
She kind of
She's kind of
does.
Scottish.
certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella, I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing a set of
And
keys.
hurry! We've still got a few minutes
Wait,
to double check those
What
papers.
wristwatch?
Great boy! Are you really Rose?
Okay, got it.
Alright, we have 2 new things. But how long do we want to do these for?
I'm sure this is already part 2.
Oh, okay. Can you...
next.
Next, okay.
Rose Cooper, along with a woman who introduced herself as Marianne McCullough, found Isabella Santos lying unconscious in the mansion's foyer before the open houses start. Unable to recall what happened prior, Isabella insisted on working despite her co-agent's worries about her well-being. Okay. Oh, Marianne is one of the characters. And our affinity with her has improved.
Yep.
Greatly, I would say.
Man. But why is it Rose on there? That's super weird.
Cause she's gonna die. She's already dead. The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Their departure brings with it a stillness to keep me company, neither welcoming nor comforting. Alone. Like this, it's impossible not to think of what really happened. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. Was it just paranoia? A temporary lapse after having heard all those tales about this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such.
She's gonna find the letter.
Better to think of it as such so I can work in peace. Yeah, she's gonna find the letter. It is all gonna be coming back to her. Then we're gonna get the creepy face, and it's like, ah, I'm creepy! And then it's all gonna be normal again for about maybe 20 more minutes. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ, and if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm. Its jagged edges create shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer close to my body, I exit the house to get what Rose has asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money.
Is that
Oh,
necessary?
are we not going to talk about that? We're not going to talk about that. Okay.
Happy joy time!
Everything's happy. It's all good. It's all fine. I'm actually going to move the face cam to the top. I don't know if you've noticed, but all the text at the bottom is getting in the way. Edit scene. No. Wrong one.
There we go. Perfect.
Boom. Okay. Now we're all good.
Just
Don't mind that. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled or underdressed standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold, glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their head.
so they're older people.
Not necessarily. They could be young and fancy. I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby like in the stories. Those birds will have a field day in this. They are murmuring amongst themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly. Some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Hearing this, a few wondered to me. They're mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs.
There's
Spiffy.
Hannah.
There's
and
Hannah and Luke. That is Luke, right?
Yeah, that's
It
Luke.
sure is Luke. Got half our cast right here. Miss McCulloch also joins our group. But what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches.
It's so nice to finally meet you! When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get
I
you!
don't know why, Chief Inspector Lee made me immediately think of Rush Hour. Lee! Carter! Lee! Carter! We're gonna die!
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
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 Oh,
I don't
you
like
know
these
each
two.
other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Oh, yes, I think I did.
Ah, they must be the clients she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine? The television? I can't quite remember.
I thought you were actually like, oh, these must be the clients that she was. I was like, Blake, we already knew that.
Shut up! Let me infer! But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news, one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two already have. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others. In their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman in particular is stunning enough to turn the heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. If I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'd say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact. I think they are brother and sister, if it wasn't for the public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. Whatever.
You should have looked at that.
I should have. Couple or not, what's important is we get the deal closed before the current owners can think of canceling the listing. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's group is brave and generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. Journal updated.
October 21st.
Boom. That's 3 days later. Is it?
No.
Oh, it is the same day.
It's all in the same day.
Holy shit. A lot happened today. Today marked the open house of the infamous Ermengarde Mansion. Open to the public for the first time in years, Lockburn's most esteemed and prominent personalities gathered to catch a glimpse of the 17th century property, including Lockburn's most well-known couple, Luke and Hannah Wright. Bam. When they aren't whispering among themselves or going ooh and ah over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went, to the history of the place, I answer them all. More than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales stock, even if the entire population of Luxburn knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty. Even the glass thing, colorful ones. Oh, I don't know, but you get the idea, I hope.
The glass thing?
The glass.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. The mansion's current owners have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, your attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small?
Mr. Ingray.
We might have to break a wall down to have
I forgot
more room.
that she kind of gives names to everyone.
Well, I think it is.
Lovely
Lovely
lady.
lady.
Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am.
Story update.
Okay.
But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of the conversation gets lost in the chatter of our companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, please, please let these guys be the one. Eventually, our group reaches the kitchen. Much like the rest of the house, a great deal of effort has been put into retaining the rooms classical appearing. It does look classical. Almost log house, kinda.
Yeah. Why is there like a random
Trapdoor.
trapdoor?
That's the cellar. It's the wine cellar.
Oh, because it's in the kitchen. Okay.
It's in the kitchen with Dinah. It's in the kitchen, don't you know? The open hearth at the end of the room in particular looks amazing, like the ones I've only seen in fairy tale books. And mad props to the cleaning crew. Seriously, after overhearing hundreds of their complaints about the soot and tar staining the bricks and how much of a pain in the arse cleaning this will be, they still managed to pull this off. Or make it look presentable, at least.
The highlight of the room, however, is what's underneath this hatch here.
And underneath, boom!
Oh, don't say anything yet. An underground wine cellar.
Nobody move! There's beer under here.
It's wine.
Fancy beer. This is the first time the guy in gray speaks up. Mr. Luke, right? My memory supplies from the forms they signed earlier. The sudden attentiveness catches me off guard. Since the start of the tour, only his wife shown any form of genuine interest in the place. But this time, something lights up in his eyes at the mention of the Undercroft. What's so interesting about a basement? I really don't understand rich people sometimes. Right now, he just gives me the impression of a child who has seen what he absolutely wants for Christmas. I've always found it cute whenever I see children act that way, my younger siblings especially. When a grown man, It's almost funny.
Yes, sir. It could house around 7,000 to 11,000 bottles of wine.
Holy
Freaking big wine cellar!
Truly. And the room, how was it built?
The bricks that were used to build the cellar have been carefully picked for the purpose of maintaining and preserving a constant temperature and humidity in the room.
Damn, she's good.
Wow.
Is good.
It's a good place to keep your private collection in if you have one, sir.
It keeps the corks in good condition.
Oh, love. Didn't you say before that you wanted to make your own personal vineyard?
Wow.
Perhaps you could start one here.
You know we're going to need space for that, darling.
And Lord knows there's space in there. And this isn't big enough?
If it's space you're worried about, sir, the Ermengarde mansion sits on a 46-acre lot. There's plenty of room for it. We were told that the original owners had a horse stable built here before, too.
There's a contemplative expression on Mr. Wright's face, but he doesn't say anything further. His wife, however, seems really pleased that he has started to show interest, if only a little. I smile to myself. I might not completely understand how these people's minds work, but I sure as hell know how to spot a buyer with sincere interest. Score! I can't wait to tell Rose.
Okay, why doesn't Isabella like them? Like, their relationship isn't the best?
I don't know.
Like, it seems like they're getting along.
I think it's just because she doesn't know them.
Like
She's pretty. I mean, she doesn't know Marianne either, but she seems to be getting along with Marianne pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think everyone else is just she's well acquainted with. She doesn't know these people.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to like these people. She kind of just wants them to buy the damn house.
Yeah, so she can get the hell out of Dodge.
The rest of the tour goes without a hitch. After more than half an hour, we're able to cover almost every room in the ground floor and are heading to the parlor. Funny, the first time BRC had us survey the property, I kept complaining to Rose how big it is. Now I can't even bring myself to care no matter how much my feet hurt. Maybe this is just my excitement over a possible sale. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. It starts off small goosebumps on my skin. A feeling of being watched intently. Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look. A chill settles down my spine, making me feel sick, and I start to break out in a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I could just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we prepared. If anyone has any questions, feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I've probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer. Until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there? Yes, ma'am? Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting. Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job. What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right? Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right? Please, just Hana. Call me Hana.
Hana.
I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Is this a joke? She looks at me expectingly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further and puts a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she tasted a particularly sour lemon.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hana. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person. But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon. And it would be so wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us. Why, I can even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork. We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I try not to wince when her nails dig into my shoulders. Can't help but send an imploring look at Miss Kala, who only gives me an apologetic smile and a shrug. I'm starting to understand why she doesn't like these two characters as much.
Yeah, I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shovels through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is going to be so angry for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel. Isabella. Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel. It's Isabella. Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
Oh no! Oh no! A look of confusion and disgust appears on her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply. It's like, whatever.
That's the letter.
An interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with... what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as... dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been
So
appalled.
that's 3.
But I'm sure you'll know what to do with all walls once we get started.
We just need 2 more.
Let's see, how many we got? We have 6 other characters. Meaning someone's gonna get dragged into this and he's not even one of the 5.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything. Are the papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with Mom Hannah leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
The smile is back on her face when she turns to me and hands me a strange piece of paper.
I would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter, in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip as my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills my mind.
Isabella? Isabella? Are you alright? You're looking pale.
Didn't even notice when Rose's group joined us in the parlor. I want nothing more to say than no, I'm alright. I want to leave this place, because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter, the blood-soaked limbs in the attic. It's real.
The letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless. I've been so careless. How do I even tell them that without looking I've gone mad? Oh, should I even tell them? Show them... Oh no!
Okay. I feel like
Showing Rose the letter gets her involved. She'd be one of the 5. Not showing the letter makes her not one of the 5.
I feel like
Yet.
she wouldn't show her the letter though, because she wants
to keep the facade that she's all right. She doesn't
Yeah.
want to show her. She's all right.
Rose,
The words are stuck in my throat. Oh God, new relationship. All right, wow, it got even bigger with Marianne. I want to tell her, I really do. But is she going to believe me? I guess it would make sense that it would grow with Marianne, because
It shows us being professional.
trying to be professional, yes. I guess that kind of makes sense. She already dismissed me earlier. It's a concussion, she said. It's not. There really is something in this house, in that attic, in that letter. It's going to go after us. Please, believe me.
dear me, is Isabel alright?
Oh no.
Ma'am Hana's voice breaks through the haze, beginning to cloud my mind. Rose is looking down at me, worry etched on her face, on her features. I didn't even notice when she removed the wrinkled paper from my hands and pushed me down to sit on a nearby chair. From the edge of my vision, I can also make out that Miss Kahlo also asking a passing food server for a glass of water. Through it all, Mr. Wright stands in the sidelines. Although curious, he appears more inclined to watch the scene than help. They were all as likely to believe me as Rose does. To everyone, whatever's in this house is just a hoax, a cautionary tale for children.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
She offers me a drink, but I push it away. I need to get out of here before I cause an even bigger commotion. Clear my head, take a breath of fresh air. Anything to take my mind off things. No one is going to believe me anyway.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
Bowing my head, I muttered a quick apology and gathered my stuff to make a quick exit. Doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not, I've caused trouble and Rose can't be quite unforgiving of behavior like this. I'm almost at the door when she catches up to me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious on my face because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler. Eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands. A small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it nevertheless. More as an automatic response than any desire to have it back. Throw it away if I can. I have this nagging feeling that one way or another it will find its way back to me regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to get one of my own if I ever win the lottery. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She clasps her hand together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful. Whether at myself, at the unlucky turn the situation has taken, or for her, I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob. And I don't even know what that means.
At the memory, we both burst into helpless giggles, earning us strange looks from the guests milling about the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishaps that happened. Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Oh no.
Bad idea.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, alright? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who will fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of complaint. Left with nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some way across from me, is occupied in a friendly banter about which one would cost more to buy. A little argument here and occasional laughter and teasing there, I smile to myself. The conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right, I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. It's a few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a phone call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that I'll ever accept the latter. Personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works. A free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects and...
Shit!
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.